Morning. Look at that. That's the first time I've seen the sun in a month. Here it is. So today the weather looks amazing. God, it's almost like some kind of lost soul or something popping up there. I haven't seen him for ages. Today's going to be a good day. Temperatures dropped by 10 degrees overnight, so we're going to get the insulation on the bottom of the Caravan so that the temperature is a little bit more stable for us. We're going to be cutting the good quality foam insulation to go around the bottom, and I'm going to get this guy wired up, which is the kerosene heater. So we're going to have a heated, insulated skirt around the bottom of the Caravan, which is going to be good timing. So let's start by cutting this, and then we'll wire this in later on. Post. Cutting down the quantity of times we do the post, but today seems like we've got a good bundle and almost all of it is going to be relevant. Shows a bad spot, didn't I? It's dripping in it. Although I'm not sure. What's this one? Ah, brilliant. Yeah, I was hoping this was going to be this. So for that, if you've watched the video on our water supply, the first one of those, I went through our plan, well, lightly went through our plan to get a water wheel up and running. And this is the generator or alternator or motor. They all seem to be the same thing, really, for that. And I'm hoping that this other parcel is the other half. They're both eBay. The generator is new. This is not. Yeah. eBay's always, they always wrap it really well, don't they? You wonder sometimes if people have any idea what you might be using these things for when they sell them to you, because this is definitely an obscure use case for these. Right, so this is my plan for our version 1 of the waterfall. Start there. Here we go. 2 wheels like this. I'm going to bridge the gap between them with some drainage pipe cut in half, so they're like the fins. The reason I picked a bicycle wheel is because this is a test. I don't know the water speed, I don't know how it's going to perform. So I've got the drivetrain on the back here, which I can put a chain between, change the sprocket size as I like, and I can change the speed at which the water wheel turns the motor, therefore the amount of power it produces. So this is why I've chosen bicycle wheels. Here we go. So that's going to be an upcoming project. I'm going to put them. These are my replacement wellies. Yep. And this is getting wet. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So we've been looking into coats and jackets because everything we bought is just not waterproof. We bought, as in we have quite a lot of coats, as most people do, and they're waterproof. And I think when we were before, they were waterproof, but for some reason coming up here, nothing's waterproof. And I've seen that wax jackets are pretty good. Like if you want to get the best waterproof jacket, it's a wax one or an oil one. And I've heard you can do it yourself. So if you've got a cotton jacket, you just need some paraffin wax, which that is, some beeswax, which that is, and then some mineral oil. Mix it together in a ratio, heat it up, paint it on the jacket, and you've got a really good waterproof jacket. So I'm going to try that because I've got a couple of good jackets. As in I like them, they just appear not to be waterproof. So I'm going to try waxing them, and then I've got another one which I'm going to try submerging in silicone, because this one's a wax treatment. The other one is you put a tube of silicone in some white spirit, dissolve it, submerge whatever you're trying to put in, and then it becomes waterproof as well. That I'm not going to do on any nice jackets though. I'm going to do that on a really cheap Mac that has stopped being waterproof, and probably some sheets to make tarpaulins from, just see if it works. So that's the wax for the wax jacket. Water wheel, wellies, motor. Good delivery day. Well, the postman's complaining. Okay, so we've got the first half of the skirt on. The foam is really to tack it in places. It's not for, I don't want it to be airtight this, I just want it to be, in fact I don't want it to be airtight because I need the air to flow through it to stop any damp getting down there, but I've foamed it just to hold it so that it doesn't blow away in this wind. The reason I've stopped at that point for now is because I've got some wiring to do. So just here is where the power comes in. I've got to wire or rewire an outside socket there, and I've got to make a little access hole, which just means a square in this that I cut out and can just pull out. And then I'm going to run that to this side here, which is, I'll just show you where the heater is going to go. So the inlet point that I'm going to use is that hole in the floor, which was an existing hole in the floor. It had a grill on it for ventilation underneath the water heater. So I'm going to run that cable I just said I'm going to wire in over to this side here. So we've got some sockets to wire in the heater. Then I've got to try and figure out this whole lot. So that there is the duct, or the size of the duct, which is the hot air out. So that's going to go through that hole that I just showed you in the floor in the boiler. I've got to figure out the fuel tank. Like I said, we're having the fuel tank separate, so I can push all this underneath. And I need to make sure the exhaust comes out of the underneath. I don't want it exhausting inside the insulation. So I'll explain that heater a bit more once I've wired up the power for it, and I'll go over what it's like when we actually put it under there. But first, I've got to figure out how to I've got to get it working, and then we'll start worrying about exactly where we're going to put it. Okay, so that's the power wired up. We have all these pipes here. So that's the outlet pipe. That's the inlet pipe, which we do need. So I'm just going to thread that on there. I've heard that you do need the end here. You can't just leave it open because it pressurizes it correctly. And then we've got loads of these little hoses to do up, hose clamps, do up all the pipe work around everything. Now it comes with a short length of exhaust like that, and a short length of inlet pipe like this, but because we've got a different plan, I've got a much longer piece of exhaust and a much longer inlet. So I'm going to use these two. I'm not actually going to plumb those in right now because I need to place this first in order to know where we're going to be going with it. So you see here, that's the heat outlet and that's the exhaust outlet. Where's the inlets? Oh, okay. So the air in is down the bottom here, and the fuel in is down the bottom here, so that's good. We've got two things done. Have we got any tiny clips? No, I see, the tiny clips for the fuel are little plier jobbies. You know what? I'm just going to use the heat gun. I'm glad it's got a nice long fuel hose, because that means I can sight this outside the caravan like we talked about. So now we're at this stage. I think what we're going to do is we'll go and see where we can sight this, because we've got the power, we've got the fuel line, I've got the inlet, we've got the exhaust and everything, so we'll go and see where we can fit it, and then we'll have to juggle around some pipes, I think. So in a previous video, I think I mentioned this. So this goes to the Caravan, this goes to our power bank, and then I got a Y piece so that I was able to take external power. Like I could take power from here and run it to an external box. So this is effectively coming from the Caravan. No, sorry. So I've got the Y piece, so that's coming from the power bank, and I can take this from the power bank rather than having to drill holes in the Caravan to get the extra power out from that end. So this is kind of separate from the Caravan. Just made it a bit easier. So this is going to be that power access box that I was talking about. I've just got to get this to the other side. Don't know if we're late or about right, but we should probably test it, see if it works before I go much further, because I've got everything pretty much connected. So I think we'll plug it in and see what happens. Okay. I think we'll just start with a little bit. So this is kerosene. Doesn't seem to be leaking. I don't know if the fuel is suction or gravity fed, so I've left all of the fuel line on there, because like I said, we're going to be doing the decking here, and I want the fuel tank accessible so that I can you know, fill it up, and the idea is the rest of the heater stays underneath the Caravan, so that's why I've left all the line on. But it might be a bit too much. It might be a bit too much for it to flow to, so we'll see. Okay, so the other one didn't work. Maybe you could tell from the footage. So I swapped the box, luckily we've got 2 diesel heaters, swapped the boxes over. This one does work. The other one seems to be a fan error. So probably from factory, the fan's just touching something else and auto shutting off. So I've swapped them over. That works. But I need the remote control to work because I'm going to pack it away underneath there, and the remote control doesn't come with a battery, and I've just checked it and it's the tiniest battery. It's an A, it says A, but it's all in Chinese, so I don't know which A, but it's smaller than AAA, so I've got to find that battery, which means I can't enclose it away permanently until I've got that battery. So what I'm going to do, I've cut the insulation, I'm going to fix the insulation across here, I'm going to make the access panel, which is that one, for the heater so I can pull it on and off. I'll do the insulation on the other side as well, and I suspect I'm going to have to access this fairly regularly. And it was my plan to do the decking across all of this and make an access panel in the decking, which would be an infrequent access panel. I think what I'm actually going to do the insulation like I said, there's the heater. I'm going to make a decking panel like that, which is all one section, and then I'm going to make another section here and not attach them, so I can just kind of drag this out the way and then get access to the heater. I might whip that decking up now, so I'll put the insulation on, I'll just make that decking over there quickly, and then I just know the edges where I need to put the reed covering up to where the access panel needs to go. And yeah, I planned on doing the decking sort of later as a separate thing, but I think I might just put it together, and at least I know where I'm working to then. Right, so that's the decking framework done, and I've got the first few bits of decking on, and I've got the, I've made this, so that's a full piece, that's a full piece, and then this is going to be my access to the heater there. I've added a bit of damp proof vapor barrier to it, and I've just stapled it over, and I've added a bit of wood here to keep it down. It's under the Caravan, but we had a water pump explode on us because it got dripped on under there. I don't think that would be a problem now because we've got all the foam around the outside, which should stop any splashes, but better safe than sorry, I think, given the last one was a bit of a headache to fix. So got all the insulation on the sides. I've added these gutter, they're pretty, aren't they? Pretty, aren't they? these gutter diverters just because the rainwater will drip right on the top of that ledge, and these ones are a bit better because they just wedge straight in that hole that I did. And they just carry, I mean the water's still going to run down here, but at least it's not running straight in it, and trying to avoid it getting really damp and mouldy under there. So tomorrow I'm going to finish off the decking. I'm not going to do handrails on this, I just want to get the bottom done so that we've got something to tread on. It protects those pipes like I've said before. So I'm not going to finish the decking in this video because the video is not really about decking, it's about the thermal skirt. So I'm going to tidy it up tomorrow. I'm going to get the reed covering on it so it looks a bit better, not just shiny aluminium foil insulation cover. It's you know, looks a bit nicer, and I'll get the surface of that done. So yeah, that's me for tonight, and I'll see you in a few seconds when we continue the video. I've had this guy out now 4 times, and it's had 4 errors on it, 4 different errors. All of which now I've rectified, and it is putting out very hot air, which is what it's supposed to do. So it's cheap, but you're gonna have to be ready for a lot of trial and error setting it up. I don't want to turn it off now in case it just stops forever. But I'm gonna put that back under the decking and plumb it in with all the rest, all the stuff we've got, you know, already under there. I just took the heater out and put some new bits on it. So I have to say the first diesel heater we had, which is the red one I showed you, that one worked pretty well. It was from the same place, and as far as I can tell it's the same brand. Both of these, we've had 2, have not worked. One of them is just not working and I can't get it fixed at the moment. This one is now working, but yeah, I don't know if I could recommend them. I recommend what they do. They're very, very good at that, but temperamental. But what can you expect? It was 150 quid. Okay, so that's us done on this for now. Got the reed covering on around here, and I've got the covering on here. I ran out up there, and it's going to be a while before we get any more, so I haven't finished the covering there. I've got the decking. Got our access panel, which you lift up and it comes out, but you can get access to the heater in there, which has come in very handy. I've added some more vents in here. I've got water bottles at the minute because they're gluing. So I've got a vent there, and I've got a vent there, and I've got a Y piece. Can you see that? I've got a Y piece in there so that we found that the heat, it was my first idea to just leave the pipe kind of coming out so we could move it, but it was getting annoying, so I added those Y connectors, more of a permanent solution. Also, I couldn't get the remote working, so I've put the controller up here, which turns out to be a bit better because the remote's just on or off, up or down, whereas that has a thermostat in it, so you can set it to come on at a certain temperature, which is great because it means in the middle of the night it just comes on automatically. So that's worked out a bit better. But there we go, we've got a heated skirt, we've got the Caravan with heating in it, and now it's got a thermostat, which is a bit of a bonus. Wasn't expecting that. And we've got a reeds cover on the bottom, which makes it just look a little bit better. I can't remember if I showed you around the other side, but we'll go and have a quick look. Go and have a quick look here. So we've got the reeds on all the way down there. I use these little pins, like nails, fencing nails, to just pin it into the insulation, and I've put bits of glue behind it. The pins started off as a place just to hold it while the glue set, but in the end I think those pins probably hold it better than the glue does. So there we go. If you would like to come and see us the next one, which will be, what will it be? I've got some projects coming up where I might be waxing a jacket as a bit of a tester to see if you can wax a jacket, and then there's a silicone treatment I'm going to do on another one. That one might be coming up next, or perhaps it'll be some more of the water connection, because that seems like that's our next most important job. So if you like that kind of stuff, come join us. But I'll see you there. We'll see you in the next one.